Hey there, anime fans. Welcome back to Anitopian, where we dive into the most thrilling moments of anime and break down the action-packed worlds you love. Today, we're unraveling the suspense and terror of Solo Leveling Episode 2. From the deadly trials of the dungeon to Jinwoo's jaw-dropping sacrifice, this episode is a roller coaster of emotions. Let's jump right in. The dungeon is filled with tension after the first wave of deadly attacks. The episode begins with the hunters frozen in fear after the statues brutally kill several members of the group. Song Chi-yo, a senior hunter, warns everyone to stay completely still to avoid triggering more attacks. Jinwoo notices Chi-yo is bleeding heavily and helps him stop the bleeding, showing his selfless nature. The group reflects on the dungeon's overwhelming difficulty, realizing the giant statue in the center is the Lord mentioned in the rules. The smiling statue. The giant statue, now glowing with eerie red eyes, watches the group as they try to figure out the rules. As the hunters kneel before the giant statue, it begins smiling ominously. The smile is wide, sinister, and unnerving, signaling that the dungeon is toying with them. This iconic moment captures the sheer terror of the hunters as they realize they are at the mercy of a cruel and godlike being. At this point, the dungeon feels alive, almost as if it's enjoying their suffering. The smile of the statue becomes a symbol of their despair. The second commandment, praise the Lord. The tension rises as the group tries to fulfill the second rule. One hunter attempts to praise the statue verbally, but this results in his immediate death, further increasing the group's panic. Jinwoo notices statues holding musical instruments and realizes that playing them might satisfy the second commandment. The group hesitantly approaches the instrument statues and begins interacting with them. The giant statue's aggression halts, confirming they've fulfilled the second rule. The third commandment, prove your faith. A new trial begins as the floor opens, revealing an altar surrounded by flames. The hunters deduce that someone must make a sacrifice to complete the third commandment. Song Chi-yo offers to step forward, but Jinwoo refuses to let others sacrifice themselves. Despite being the weakest, he volunteers. Jinwoo steps onto the altar as flames surround him, and the rest of the hunters look on in despair. The player system activation. Jinwoo is left on the altar, facing what seems to be certain death. As the dungeon timer counts down, Jinwoo's injuries worsen, and his vision begins to blur. Suddenly, a mysterious system message appears before him, offering him the role of player. With no options left, Jinwoo accepts the offer, and a bright light engulfs him. The episode ends with a cliffhanger, leaving viewers eager to see how Jinwoo's journey will unfold. And that's the breakdown of episode 2 of Solo Leveling. The smiling statue was an unforgettable moment, symbolizing the dungeon's cruel power. Jinwoo's decision to sacrifice himself sets the stage for his transformation. What did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for episode 3.